What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a really good morning.
10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be new home sales today. I'm going to be looking to see how this comes in today and see if those home prices are going down, because shelter is a piece of the inflation rate. So we want to see how those come in. Let's go ahead and also take a look at tomorrow. We got FOMC minutes coming in tomorrow here, giving us the breakdown of what Fed Chairman Powell said at the last FOMC and what everyone was talking about. Thursday, we're going to have initial jobless claims, and then we're going to have that PCE report on Friday. So that's what we're looking at there. You can see that we had a nice little pump up there yesterday, and I'll get into Ethereum here in a minute, but we said that there looked like there could be a breakout coming in the next 24 hours. About 12 hours later, we had a breakout. So did run up all the way to the dynamic reactor, just shy of it right there, leaving a little gap underneath it, and now kind of consolidating sideways. Could this be more of what we saw over here and over here? Very possible. But I think everything is just a little rally on some news yesterday, and now it's just going to consolidate, trying to wait to see what happens next with what we're going to hear in the news today. Looking at the 12-hour chart here, yeah, we touched the dynamic reactor on the 12-hour here, rejecting perfectly right there off of that thickness of the cloud, and that's where we are sitting. Looking at the oscillator, we do have this ribbon twist pushing up right here and trying to come out, but remember that the ribbon tends to trade inside the cloud. So obviously, once it gets tight, it can break, and that creates the fatter cloud. But right now, I'm not seeing anything that's really indicating that this cloud is going to fatten up because of a big move here. Especially if this consolidation continues sideways right here, this cloud is very likely going to do more of this. So that's what I'm going to be watching for on there. I do see that the RSI is starting to come back down a little bit here. It's looking at the 1 week Bitcoin chart. This is the Gaussian channel, guys, and what I want to show you guys here was yesterday I was talking about on there that we had the median line here on the Gaussian channel, that we had a nice perfect retest thereof, and that I said that 25,280 range was going to be vital, but I do believe that this actually could be coming back up to hit the Gaussian channel here again, and that would be 29,700, 29,500 range. So another point that I want to show you here is if we go to the 5-day here, the 5-day gives us a totally different story, guys. On the 5-day, we had a breakup in. We got a rejection on the median. We've retested the bottom of the Gaussian channel. And then we got a rejection at the top. It pulled back down in on this one 5-day candle here. And the next one broke us out. We have not retested this yet on the top of this, and we typically do that. If we go back here into some history here, you'll see we typically tend to test that when it comes into the range. Here you go. We came in out of the red, traded here for quite a few months here in the top band of this above the median, but we came back and retested the top of this for about 2 months. So I suspect that we're going to possibly do that here, and this green is going to continue on. So it's looking pretty bullish on the Gaussian channels to me, if you ask. Looking here on the 1 week Bitcoin, you can see we got rejected off that dynamic reactor. Currently, right now, we do have a bullish candle pushing, and if this closes at least the size that it is now or bigger, we're going to have a bullish engulfing candle here. So that would be nice to see. I think, though, that really that range is at 29.5 that we have to break through here. Again, that 29.5 on the weekly back here is going to be right there in the realm of that top of that Gaussian channel, which is also going to be right here in line with the dynamic reactor. Go ahead and jump into some Ethereum, show you guys what we were talking about yesterday. So yesterday on the show, I told you guys about this triangle that we had going here, and I drew these off and said, while it was looking a little bearish down here on some things because we were on the zero line here and we had a really tight cloud on the oscillator, I did say sometime in the next 24 hours, we will have a breakout, and I tend to say that it's going to be to the upside. Well, guys, what happened? We broke out to the upside about 12 hours into that 24-hour prediction there, and now we are sitting here in a consolidation period. Matter of fact, if I bring this down into 1 hour, you'll see we're just kind of grinding sideways right here between the delta line and this top trade band of the predictive ranges here. We created whole new ones ones after breaking the top frame. New ones were created. And so I tell you guys all the time on these that when these print, these channels, these predictive ranges, they print at the beginning. And so for this entire period, you had notification of where those lines were going to be. Well, now you're seeing a new, fresh baby predictive ranges growing up here. And we now know that we can watch for price action to occur in between the two trade bands. That bottom trade band right there, going to be coming right near the 786, which was our previous resistance. I do suspect that we are going to come down, probably hitting inside of our trade band here on the lower gold line right there, which is going to be a wick down to the 786, retesting all of this previous support back here for one, resistance that's now support, I should say, retesting that 786. And if I go ahead and I throw on in here the fixed range volume profile, we can now see that our point of control is dropped down from that 786, guys. So I don't know that we're going to come all the way back in this far to test this. I think the 786 is going to hold, but you do have to take into account that this is a possibility coming in at about 1800 right now. I am more of the mindset that we're going to come down to the lower trade band in the 786, which is going to be around 1825 for that retest. So if we take a look here on Cardano, had a couple of nice big candles here on the volume that pumped up, but really starting to slow down on the bearishness. The bearish candles of the volume are starting to pull down a little bit. I do think that we could see, if Bitcoin doesn't drop, a good little rally still coming here on Cardano. And I do think that we could be breaking through, which we have not done on Cardano in comparison to Bitcoin and ETH. Get through this dynamic reactor. We might see a little alt run take place when it happens. So I want to pull up the look at the dynamic reactor here, or look at the oscillator here, and look at the RSI. RSI looks like we still got the signal line coming up on the RSI, so this could easily come back up. But right now, we are starting to see a little ribbon pinch here to pull back into the cloud. I'm going to recant my previous statement. I think that we're actually going to see a little bit of downside on Cardano before we come back up. So let me pull a little fixed range volume profile here and maybe give you guys some of those levels. Let's take it from over here to here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I can see this easily. We've got a point of control coming in at 36.7 cents and 36.1 cents. That could bring the oscillator right back down to the zero line for a nice bounce before it comes back up. So I'd be watching for that 36.7, possibly 36 cents here on this fixed range volume profile for the bounce before it comes back up, which would also give time for this dynamic reactor to come back down. Price comes down here, maybe bounces, and then gets that punch through, looks for that retest on the top of it, and up it goes. So that's what I'm seeing there on Cardano.
Crypto giant Binance commingled customer funds and company revenue, former insiders say. This is pretty big news if true. Going over to the crypto charts, though, you see Binance is still up 1.2% this morning. Treasury Secretary Yellen repeats warning of U.S. debt default. It is highly likely that Treasury will no longer be able to satisfy all of the government's obligations if Congress has not acted to raise or suspend the debt limit by early June and potentially as early as June 1st. So kind of taking things to a little bit of a more escalated height in her rhetoric, saying, hey, not only are things going to go south, but they could start going south as soon as June 1st. NVIDIA stock revisits all-time high. Why Bitcoin could be next. The chart above shows the correlation between NVIDIA and Bitcoin. It suggests we could see a big move in BTC, much like we have in the chip maker. The chip maker, of course, being NVIDIA. Tony the Bull was the one who seemed to kind of present this to the media this morning. So here they're making a cross asset class observation here. NVIDIA is obviously the line here in blue that has reached its all-time high and is poked higher, whereas Bitcoin is still lagged. It has not moved all the way back up. We may see a continued move there for Bitcoin to the upside as a result of this pretty strong correlation. It's the same people buying NVIDIA are going to buy Bitcoin. There's just a delay is kind of the thesis here, and it's going to push Bitcoin all the way to all-time highs. Wow, you made it to the end of the video. Great job. Now, if you want more content like this, whether it be TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum or altcoins, or you just want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest news in crypto, then stay tuned and tune in to our 9 a.m. live show every single weekday morning. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you tune in live, use the keyword grip strength in the chat, and you'll get a special shout out from anyone who's paying attention to the chat. Love to see you there.